Hi, my name is Boris, and in this video I'm going to show you the techniques of writing melodic techno bass lines. In 3 levels, we'll get started from simple rolling bassline patterns and end up on a bit more advanced call and response sequences. Before we get into the video, if you like what we are doing on this channel, make sure to subscribe. We've got more content about Ableton coming up. If you'd like to learn Live 12 with all the foundations of music production, check out our beginner to advanced Live 12 start to finish course, and make sure to also check out the Everything Bundle Collector's Edition, which includes all of the courses, sound packs and project files in our store. And to see all of that, check the video description. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so here's the first pattern for today. It's a fragment of a project file called The Lake. Let's play it and we'll dissect the bass line next. And let's just play the bass line with the kick drum. So as you can see, we've got a bunch of layers. Let's disable these for now and go through these one by one. So first of all, we've got this rolling sub. It's just a simple sine wave in operator and it sits nicely below everything else. If we take a look at the EQ8, you can see that our fundamental is around 40 Hz, so you need good headphones or good speakers with a subwoofer to really hear this. But this is going to be very present on like a club system. So to get that punch, we really need those sub frequencies. And here we have the main bass line. So let's disable the sub and just play the main one. And in this tutorial, I'm not going to be focusing too much on the sound design. As you can see, we are using Serum here, but the synth itself does not matter completely in this case. We could make the exact same pattern in analog, in Wavetable, and even in operator. And just to show you, I'm going to quickly do a similar pattern with analog. So let's just take analog. All you need is a simple saw wave. So let's just choose a saw wave. Let's take the filter down and let's take the sustain down on the filter and let's hear what this sounds like. And we could even change the drive mode. We have symmetric one, but we can choose, for example, asymmetric. So this also works. Just wanted to show you that it's possible with any synth, but let's take a look at the pattern itself. Alright, so we're in the F sharp major scale. Let's fold to it. And as you can see, we are just playing the F sharp, so the root, and we are playing 16th notes over here. And just every 8th 16th note, we're just putting that an octave higher. And just doing a bit of turnaround over here. Similar thing goes on for the rest of the sequence, and there isn't any automation over here. We just have the shaper, which is doing some sidechain to the kick. All right, let's take a look at another layer that we have. And this is just for these mid frequencies over here. Just adding some harmonics over here. So let's play that with the main track. And that's really, really simple. Now we've also got a Reese. And that's a really wide bass. So we are cutting the very lows so that it doesn't clash with our sub and the main track, but we have these nice wide detuned solos, and this could also be done very nicely, for instance, in Wavetable, which is stereo by default. So we are just following the root note over here, and similar thing happens over here. Only that we are high cutting the sound and the filter is a bit more open on the synth and we are playing it an octave higher. So all of this together. Alright, so even though the main pattern itself, it's pretty simple, with some careful layering you can achieve a lot more depth, even with a simple bassline. Alright, so let's listen to example number 2. This project file fragment is called Particles. Let's hear it. Alright, so we've got this Stephan Bodzin kind of bass line. Let's just solo it. So there's quite a lot of automation going on here. Let's quickly go over it. Even though we are doing this with Serum, this can also be really easily replicated on any other subtractive synth. So first of all, we've got this cutoff that we are automating. So let's take a look at that. So even if we take the cutoff and the mod wheel and the FM, if we take this all the way down, we still have some portamento going on here. So this just adjusts how long this is going to be. So we want some glides, but not too slow. Right, so we just need to find a sweet spot over here. Now with the mod wheel, we can really modify the sound. Because the mod wheel here is assigned to the cutoff, and we also have a separate cutoff knob as well. And then we also have some FM. Just for additional grit. So let me show you how this can be really easily replicated in Wavetable. So first of all, let's just choose a saw wave. Let's just make it monophonic and add a bit of glide. Alright, so we already have a start. Maybe let's just add an envelope to the frequency of the filter. And on this envelope, let's just lower the sustain and add a bit of decay. Let's add another saw wave 12 steps down. And then to add a bit of grit, you can add some drive on the filter. And we can just try automating or recording the automation of the frequency knob. So that would be the sound design. It's really nothing crazy. So we are in the C minor scale. So let's just fold to that one. So we are just kind of playing octaves. So we're playing the A flat, and then the G, and then going back to C. And then kind of doing the same thing. But we are doing these sort of higher glides here. and this just adds a lot of movement. So a variation of that could very well work without these, maybe even like this. But these higher notes just add that really interesting variation here. And especially if we have a cutoff knob that responds to the note that we're playing, this really moves this cutoff knob for us and makes it sound really nice and dynamic. And also underneath this note, we have a nice supporting reese. Which is stereo, but it's quite subtle and it doesn't interfere with our main bass sound. All right, so that would be the second track, Particles, and let's listen to the third example for today. It's a project file called Fall, and we are just playing a simple rolling bass line and just alternating octaves, playing 16th notes, as you can see. And then we are also ducking with the shaper, but this pattern is really simple. We're just playing the root notes of our chord progression, but this has also a sort of response every 2 bars. So we are playing these 2 groups. So the most important element is this stab, which is really layered. It's got 5 layers of serum, so it's quite a lot of sound design. But again, this can be done in another synth. It's supposed to be sounding a bit like a brass stab. So let me quickly show you how to achieve a similar thing. Again, we're going to be using Wavetable, and let's choose a saw wave and just try a simple 12 dB low pass curve and a filter like this. This is not going to be anywhere close. We're taking the semitones minus 24 steps. And let's also throw in a pitch and also take it an octave down. Okay, so now we can try and distort this shape. Okay, and let's also try classic unison. And I'm also going to take utility and just choose the left channel, or maybe stereo in the mid-side mode, or the shimmer mode actually works nicely. And then on top of this, let's add a sub. All right, we can try an OTT. And we can also just throw in a bit of reverb on top of this to make it nicely stand out. Maybe put the reverb in an audio effect rack. Let's have a dry chain, turn down the reverb, and maybe let's EQ it. I think that's a really nice sound. Let me group this and compare this to what we had at the beginning. Of course, the serum version is a bit more aggressive, but we could also do a bit of layering with Wavetable and achieve a somewhat similar result. Alright, but let's not get lost in the sound design. Let's take a look at the pattern itself, because we have this pattern over here, then another response later on, and we also have these FM bass group stabs. Alright, let's take a look at the main stab first. So we are doing this groovy offbeat sort of stabby pattern. It would sound like this if we just did regular 16th notes. But if you just disable some random notes, it turns into a nice sort of unpredictable pattern. This could also work, of course. And then here, what we are doing is basically we are taking some 16th notes, dividing them by 2 and then duplicating so that we have even narrower notes. And then same happens here. So then we also have these FM bass stabs over here. And these are just kind of in the background supporting our main stab. Right, so that would be the third example. Let's play it all from the start. Alright, I hope you'll find this video on writing bass lines in Melodic Techno useful. Make sure to check out our Music Production Academy with start to finish courses on writing tracks in various genres. And if you'd like to learn Live 12 with all the foundations of music production, check out our Beginner to Advanced Live 12 Start to Finish course. Make sure to also check out the Everything Bundle Collector's Edition, which includes all of the courses, sound packs and project files in our store. And to see all of that, check the links in the video description. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, write us a comment, and I will see you in the next ones.